Hey!
Okay.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the PRAXCAST.
Hello!
Well,
It is good to be back.
It's good to see you. This is episode 2 of the PRAXCAST. So we're finally here. We're finally here in Ahsoka week, guys. How do we feel about that first premiere episode? Because
I feel like we just went through an emotional journey just to get all the way over here.
You are not wrong.
It has been so long. We have waited so long for Ahsoka to come out, but now it's finally here, and now we have to wait another week for Ahsoka Episode 3.
Yeah.
I completely agree. Like going into this, I was so nervous. I still am, don't get me wrong, but I'm so, after these 2 episodes, I'm so much more confident. Like, I see where it feels like it has a plan, which Mando season 3 didn't look like it had a plan with the first 2 episodes. So seeing this on how much it's given us, how much it's setting up, it's really good to see, you know?
Absolutely. Cool. Yeah, I feel much less stressed than I was going into it than I am now. Because I remember me and Astro, like, in the months and weeks, like, leading up to yesterday, I really felt as though, like, what are we really getting ourselves into here? Because everybody's talking about, like, it has to be good to save Star Wars, or else we're kind of cooked. I'm
still on board with that.
And everybody's like, Dave Filoni's gonna save the franchise. Dave Filoni's gonna ruin the franchise. It's all over the place, and
it's all 50-50 right now.
Yeah, and when we got it, like, I felt like a sigh of relief. Like, okay, we're definitely headed in the right direction, but there needs to be a bit of tweaks. But we'll get into that later. I just want to hear you guys' thoughts on it, and how your expectations were going in, and what the expectations are going forward.
First off, I do want to say one thing, and then I'll let others speak. But we got to appreciate the visuals that we're seeing in this show.
Yeah,
the visuals are amazing. Like, compare it to Mando season 3, and now it's like a 5-year difference. It feels like it's like, wow, like they got so much better. I was like, I don't know if it's a bigger budget. I'm not sure. I wouldn't think so, because it's The Mandalorian, but I'm really appreciative of this. So yeah,
man.
When the first part of the first part, it kind of started off as slow, but as the show minutes went on, all the way up to the end of the first episode, it picked up a bit. It picked up a bit again, reintroducing us to some old characters, and then introducing us to some new characters along the process. So I feel like from there on, the story it'd get interesting in one bit, and then of course, around the middle when Ahsoka went to meet Sabine and all that stuff.
Right.
I feel like everything. I mean, there's still a few questions to ask about that particular part in the show, but other than that, it's going great so far.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Anybody's free to go.
I don't know if there's anything really more to say. I mean, the entire first episode was such a breath of fresh air compared to everything that we've gotten over the course of, like, Mando season 3 and Book of Boba Fett, and all the nitty gritty bullshit that we've. Can we curse on this channel? I can't remember.
It's not really
too
meant
bad,
for kids, so
go for it.
I guess it's too late now, but yeah,
we'll have friendly content.
But yeah, it's been such a. It's been such a breath of fresh air compared to everything that we've been getting, when, like, everything else has been kind of garbage. I didn't really expect Boba Fett to turn into, like, a father figure when he's supposed to be, like, a serial murderer, and a fucking bounty hunter, but you know,
I mean, he technically kind of did that in Legends, but like he still kind of stayed the same. Whereas like he was like, you know, he stayed ruthless, but to a point.
Yeah, he became the Mandalore.
Yeah, and he had a daughter and a wife.
He was the Mandalore.
Yeah.
Hamster, you wanted to make a point about the episode?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Hamster.
So, when Sabine opened the map, it gave me kind of a Treasure Planet vibe. So, if you haven't seen the movie Treasure Planet, I recommend you guys watch it. It's a cool movie.
See,
that's what Opal was saying
right there.
Yeah.
It was like I was watching that entire episode, and I was like, oh hey, this reminds me of Treasure Planet. And then it opened up, and then the map, like, it created that hologram, and I was like, oh hey, this is kind of like Treasure Planet. And then the beginning of episode 2, which I know we're not supposed to talk about right now, but but you know, the very opening of episode 2, it's like, oh hey, why am I watching Treasure Planet? Like, this doesn't make any sense. But yeah, Treasure Planet's a really good movie, though.
It is.
That's a highlighted moment.
You know, there's another. Go ahead.
Can we talk about how good the villains are?
Dude,
Baylan and Shin and Morgan Elsbeth.
First of all, Baylan's theme.
Oh my goodness!
Baylan's theme is
Baylan.
That theme down the hallway, the light piano. I mean, Kevin Kiner's a genius.
Imagine your first scene just being a hallway scene. Like you're just laying waste to everybody.
Yeah, imagine being such a bad bitch that the first scene that you have is ganking a Republic officer and then having a hallway scene where you murder 5 people.
Yeah, it's great.
What an intro, am I right?
I already love Baylan. He's my favorite character in this entire series. He's so good.
I think he might be my favorite too.
Also, that fucking scene. You were right about one thing, Captain. We are no Jedi.
No, what I was saying, his theme song, amazing.
Piano, man.
So
the
good.
Piano themes
really
get me.
Like you could feel the fear when you're watching it. Like
absolutely,
it fits exactly. Like he's so just like calm about everything and not even showing anger. He's just wiping the floor with it. Like he's doing great.
The big
he's been
dark Jedi boy.
Like he's been hired to do a job.
You know who Baylan and Shin remind me of in Legends?
Who?
Darth Bane and Darth Xana.
Absolutely.
I get heavy vibes.
Oh my goodness, yes.
We're cracking into Legends material.
It's crazy because Darth Bane finds Darth Xana as a young kid, and Shin was probably a young child when Baylan, or Shin is actually Baylan's kid. You know, we don't know yet. That might be revealed.
It's a possibility,
but that's just a theory.
A film theory.
Because we know that Shin was not a Jedi in the Jedi Order because Hu Yang didn't recognize her saber.
Right.
Yeah. And also she's
way too young.
She's too young because this is like 9 BBY. This is 9 ABY.
Mm-hmm.
And
like that,
okay, so 19 ABY plus 9 ABY. That's like 28 years.
Absolutely.
And she does not look 28.
No.
If she is 28, then good for her.
Another thing I wanted. We talked about this the other day, Angel. Yesterday, about when Sabine's looking at the painting of all the rebels, right? And then Ahsoka's in the background at the end of episode 2.
Yeah.
That being symbolizing a scene from Rebels, and we're trying to see if that's the same exact one. I went ahead and looked at it, and without the cane and everything that Ahsoka has, I really do think it's the same scene. Like,
I
there's
think
no
it's
way
one
that's
to
two
one the
different
same
scenes.
scene. It's just they took out the cane for whatever reason.
It's weird.
I saw someone. I was watching. Shout out to Thor Skywalker. We love you. Well, I love your channel. I don't know about the rest of these guys, but I really love your channel. But I was looking on his.
Yeah, throw us under the bus, why don't you?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I love you too. Okay, listen.
Damn. Oh my gosh.
But I was watching his video on the episodes, and someone had said that that place or that scene took place after what we saw in Rebels, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is the same scene, guys. I don't think
that makes sense because
yeah, go ahead.
I think it looks like an exact play-by-play of the of their little scene at the end of Rebels. It is so exactly the same that it's literally just the same fucking shot.
Yeah. My train of thought watching it was like thinking that it was like originally like in the future, like from that original scene in Rebels.
Right.
But then once I saw those exact replicas like play out throughout, I don't know, like the minute or two that scene happened, like I was like, oh, this has to be, except for the cane again, but it has to be a replica.
Yeah, we are all so obsessed with that damn cane.
What does it mean?
What does it all mean?
I do have a question.
What does it mean?
I do have a question about something. Remember when Hera was like talking about Ahsoka's apprentice, right? Or sorry, not Ahsoka's apprentice. Ahsoka's master, Anakin. Right. And like I forgot what exactly she said, but it's Ahsoka didn't like it basically.
Ahsoka's master,
like,
Anakin. That guy's not important.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's like
who's Anakin?
She gave Hera a certain look, like just like a stare. And do you think she, if she didn't find, I'm just seeing how much this impacted it. If she didn't fight Vader on Rebels, do you think she would have had that same reaction?
See, that's a
that's where we get into fan fiction territory.
I feel like that fight struck more of a nerve on Ahsoka.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel like she kind of took it.
Well, I mean, imagine if you had a teacher and you thought he was dead, and then he turned out to be a genocidal mass murderer.
Exactly.
Who killed all your friends and family?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just
basically like a father figure.
Back to that one scene. Sorry, I'm backtracking a little bit. I don't think that could have been a different point in time, because that ceremony towards the beginning of the show when they were trying to get Sabine Wren on the out, that's when they made that, I'm pretty sure.
Right, because Sabine had never seen it, and that's why she's so emotional with it, like looking at Ezra's face and stuff. That's the first time she's ever seen the mural, because it's an opening of the mural.
Made. Yes.
Right. Yeah. Which basically confirms that it's the same scene. I just don't understand why they changed Ahsoka's look so much. I think it's this whole thing of Ahsoka the White and Ahsoka the Gray, right? Is that they want to see her arc on screen rather than having it be, because like at the end of Rebels, this series finale, she's in a white robe, right? But in the live action, she's in all gray and she doesn't have that staff. And so I think we're going to see a major transformation of Ahsoka.
It is what it is. What is Star Wars without some retcons?
Yep. What are you going to do?
Alrighty.
Really appreciate it.
So how do you guys think that where do you think Baylan and Shin are going to go from here? Because I noticed something that happened, and I think Corvus noticed this too, Astro noticed this too, when we were watching. When Shin asked Baylan about what happens when we find Thrawn, and Baylan describes to her like what's capable of happening once his information reaches the greater galaxy. For some, war. For others, opportunity. And for us, like power beyond your wildest dreams. The way she looks at him when he says power really spooks me. Because I'm like, I'm hoping she doesn't. If that look means what I think it means, she's probably going to stab him in the back somehow.
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be some type of
yeah, just Photoshop in a couple of yellow Sith eyes, and then it's just like, oh hey, we know where this is going.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I hope Baylan goes out with some grace, like they said he does. Because Rest in peace to the great Ray Stevenson. He did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
Yeah,
he's
rest in peace.
already one of my favorites.
Yes, absolutely.
He's doing amazing.
Yeah.
In the show. You know, I do think there will be some type of betrayal between those two. And
Do you think?
Oh, definitely.
Go ahead.
their body language and everything, and just how they act. It's just, I could see it coming.
But you know what's gonna happen. But I immediately know what's gonna happen as soon as Disney gets word about everybody loving Baylan. I'm sure Baylan's gonna show up in like Tales of the Jedi Season 2 as like a background character or some kind of like some kind of backstory for him or something like that.
Yeah.
Because you know, it's tradition at this point that very popular characters just show up in the background in like extra projects.
What do you guys think Baylan is talking about when he says power that you've never dreamed? Is he talking about what they're going to find in this new galaxy? Or is he talking about what Thrawn is going to bring to the table?
Can I put something on that? Because I did some research into that last
Absolutely.
This is pretty interesting, too. Let me, give me a sec. The pathway to Peridia, I looked up that word, because usually, you know, those things like that, usually they have some meaning with, like, Latin or something, like, you just go to a dictionary, basically. So, Peridia, in the way that he spells it in the captions, was Peridea, and that specific spelling is actually a species of moth. But the spelling, there's a word peridium, and it's Peridium, or so Peridia with dia. That means the outer skin of a fungus, basically. The outer skin of a spore or other fruiting body of a fungus. And just in general, it's like the outer body. So, damn.
Getting into some Force Ghost bullshit, probably?
Well, it's just like, it means like... It means like it's another galaxy, you know, pathway to Peridia. Peridia means like the outer side, basically. And we know that it's another galaxy. They mentioned it several times.
Now, is Peridia the name of the galaxy, or just the
Peridia is the name of the galaxy? Yes.
So, well, that's what I thought, and I started this is like obviously people's opinion, I guess, but like I was reading around last night, and a lot of people took it as like Morgan kind of seemed like she hinted at like in something she said that wasn't the actual name, but it's kind of like she indicated that she knows the name of it, but that's kind of like, see, because the thing is you know how all of the regular people in the galaxy they hold on. So you know how like all the non-Force users, they look at the Jedi like a myth, right? And but everything that the Jedi know is they know it's real. So Baylan says that in the children at the Jedi Temple thought that was a myth, you know, but they know it's real. And I think it just has heavy ties to the honestly the Zepho, because the Zepho traveled to the edge of the galaxy and then they disappeared, and then that line that the map drew went to the edge of the galaxy and kind of just like jumped over into this other galaxy. And you know, not to go off topic, but it's Jedi Fallen Order was like heavily revolving around the Zepho and the Night Sisters, so I think there's some kind of connection there. I mean, anyways.
Can we talk about
definitely get some sort of connection? Yeah.
Can we talk about my Corellia prediction? You know how I'm holding that over your heads.
My God, you're gonna keep holding that over our heads for the next year. I swear to God.
So you don't know, Angel predicted that Corellia was going to be the planet that was going to show up.
Yeah.
That was episode 2, though, but we're talking about episode 1. Like, you can't bring it up.
At this point, we can talk about.
We've just been talking about episode 2.
Yeah, we can bleed into it. But my Corellia prediction was right. Suck it.
Yeah.
But
just broke the rules of the podcast just to prove that he was right.
Yes, this is all my. This is the monument to my success.
So.
Okay, I was just saying I was going to expand upon the Morgan Elsbeth Night Sister topic of, where do the Night Sisters really come from? Because we've only really seen them on Dathomir, and we, in canon we know that there's Merrin that's still around. At least what we know until Jedi Fallen Order 3 just kills her off or something. Future spoilers for future reference, but
yeah.
But I wonder, is this galaxy or this part of the galaxy that we're going to, is this where they really originate from? Is this where Talzin is from? How did they? Are we going to find out how their version of the Force, like the magic, are we going to find out where that comes from, or get some sort of explanation on that? Because Filoni really loves. For the time that Mother Talzin was there, he really loved going doing a deep dive of the magic and how the Night Sisters really work and the Night Brothers as well. Yeah. So I really wonder where you guys think that's going.
That'd be really cool to see that. Honestly, I didn't expect seeing a Night Sister in this. I don't know if you guys did or not, but I didn't. But
I called it.
Not either.
Yeah, it's very cool to see. I mean,
yeah.
Am I right that we've only seen them in the Clone Wars until now?
They were showing some Legends material in the 90s.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's when they were first created.
Yeah, it's really cool to see them again. So, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I would like to mention that we also did see a snippet where it was the ghost cells from Rebels for the Night Sisters. So we did the mail from them in Rebels.
They were in Rebels. Yeah.
The only question I have
is there's zombies we fight in Fallen Order. They're also in Rebels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Oh yeah. But the only question I have is when. It's probably mentioned somewhere, probably in the Legends novels or some sort of book that's canonized. But the only question I have is when did Grand Admiral Thrawn meet the Night Sister, or I forgot her name already.
Morgan.
But I'm sure Morgan. Thank you. I'm wondering when either met or encountered Morgan before the events of the Rebels.
I think I don't know if it was in the opening crawl or if Ahsoka said it, but it was during the time of Thrawn being in the Empire. That's when they first encountered each other. I don't know who says it. I don't know if it was in the episode or not.
That's watching again.
I think Morgan's character is really interesting because
very powerful.
I did not expect for her to be a Night Sister, and I didn't. I knew that she was. Well, I mean, we all knew that she was a very important associate to Thrawn, one of the only handful of people that actually knew his plans and was considered one of his protege, and had insider information on how Thrawn operates and how he plans out all of his operations. But I didn't know that she was also just so happened to be one of the most powerful, most likely individuals in the Star Wars galaxy, because how many uber powerful Night Sisters have we actually seen aside from Mother Talzin and
Merrin?
What's her name from Fallen Order?
Merrin, yeah.
Merrin, yeah. How many actual Night Sisters have we seen?
I would say Ventress, but She didn't really have that.
No, she's not a Night Sister. No,
she wasn't committed to the craft enough, around enough to really practice it. Corvus wanted to say something.
So I've been looking for something that I wanted to just to reinforce what I said earlier, because the whole thing about that not being the other galaxy where Thrawn supposedly is, not being actually called Peridia. I just wanted, this is in regards to that. So, I want to, obviously we want to keep this all fresh takes and it's our own words, but I do want to just read this short little thingy because it's really interesting.
Yeah, sure.
So this is in response to, is Peridia tied to the Zepho or the Rakata? And it says, Balin refers to the pathway to Peridia, but Morgan gives a fascinating response, suggesting Peridia should be known by another name. She's probably referring to whatever the inhabitants of Peridia called their own homeworld or galaxy, a name the Night Sisters must know. Ahsoka Episode II carefully avoids giving this name, though, hinting it may well be one known to longer-term Star Wars viewers. It is possible Peridia is somehow tied to either the Zepho or the Rakata, introduced in Jedi Fallen Order. Oh yeah, so this just explains the Zepho. But yeah,
Gotcha.
I think that's pretty much it. And then also there was this is really short. It's increasingly clear Dave Filoni's Ahsoka show is drawing on Arthurian mythology. I honestly did not pick up on that, but
that's crazy.
Is drawing on Arthurian mythology for inspiration, but with a dark twist. Character names are drawn from Arthurian legends, Lady Morgana and Marok being classic examples. And Grand Admiral Thrawn is being positioned as the Empire's King Arthur, the one in future king who will return in the Empire's darkest hour. Peridia seems to be inspired by the island of Avalon, a place of sorcery where Arthur was taken for healing.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
that's some cool stuff.
Yeah,
it's a cool connection.
If we get to the end of this series and the Grand Admiral Thrawn knows batshit crazy Night Sister magic,
Thrawn the White.
Oh my god,
it's over for our heroes.
It is over. It's done.
That's gonna be an Avengers level event. That is crazy.
Vader,
you
what
would
were you
come to
saying?
think.
Now, Corvus, you mentioned legends, and I would like to lead that into some legends things that I noticed.
Yeah.
Now I think this is. Now I might be wrong, but I think this is the first time in canon that we've heard mention of the HK droids and the Scion, Darth Scion. At least it's an Easter egg that I've noticed.
I think
Scion's eye.
Yeah. I think it's just an Easter egg. I don't know if it's gonna directly relate to him.
I'm not expecting it to, but I did notice that was a cool Easter egg. And then the assassin droids as well. They don't look anything at all how the HK droids look in the video games, Knights of the Old Republic, but it's a cool little nod.
Well, I mean, in Star Wars, things usually tend to change in shape and fashion over time.
This is 1,000 years in the future. Right?
Yeah, it's been thousands of years.
Yeah, this is 3,000 years since the time of Revan and Nihilus.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
I'm expecting technology to advance.
Yeah, the HK droids are not going to look the same way as they did back in 3,000 years ago.
Right.
Go back in time 3,000. Go back in time 3,000 years and hand somebody a fucking iPhone. They're going to call you a witch.
Exactly. Yeah, those were just a couple things I've noticed. But if anyone else got any other Legends material they saw, because I like that.
Yeah, that was really cool. I mean, besides the Darth Bane, Darth Zana connection I just made, I can't think of anything.
There's a lot that's going on in these handful of episodes that we're getting. It's freaking crazy.
Mace, you were going to say
agree. Something? Yeah, so with Thrawn, I know Ahsoka, people are saying that It's gonna build up to the movie coming out for Dave Filoni and around 2026, 2027. So when we were just talking now about Thrawn possibly getting some sort of power or some sort of strength or whatever, I feel like for the movie, I feel like he needs to win in the begin and the end of this show in some sort of way.
It's got to be an Empire Strikes Back type deal.
Exactly, and get some type of power or control or just something crazy happens that he's just, something crazy happens to the point where he becomes an even bigger threat than he already is. I feel like
those latter 4 episodes, like in the latter half of the season, are going to be super critical.
Thrawn, I'm telling you, man, Thrawn's going to do something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to blow our minds. Watch.
I hope.
Thrawn's getting Night Sister magic.
Yeah. I'm just hoping he does something like crazy, because that'd be a pretty cool cliffhanger.
I think the whole thing of the show going forward is going to be Ahsoka and Sabine and maybe even Hera following this Eye of Sion, the giant hyperdrive, along the pathway to Peridia, and then getting to the galaxy, and then that's where we encounter Thrawn again.
Yeah.
I think almost the rest of the show is going to take place there, and that's really exciting because it's a whole nother galaxy that we know nothing about.
I've always wanted to see more of the unknown regions, because we've only really, I think you see them in Battlefront 2, there's a little starfighter mission up there, and then obviously we know Exegol is up there.
Yeah, man, that's where I think they are.
But I think that Thrawn is at a point where he's like, okay, so the Empire is at a weak state. This means that I need to find a way to balance both leading them and corralling these leaders together, while also making sure the Chiss ascendancy is stable. And I really believe that I don't think Thrawn is actually going to be a villain, I don't think he should never be an actual mustache twirling guy. He's always doing stuff with a purpose, and this time around, I think it's going to end up where Thrawn and the heroes are going to actually have some sort of common goal where they have to fight the Gris. Maybe if the Gris are still trying to annihilate the Chiss ascendancy, because Thrawn is loyal to his people first. I think a lot of people miss that in translation.
That's all he cares about. He doesn't care about the Empire.
Yeah, as cunning as he is, and as resourceful as he is, and important to both Palpatine and the rest of the Empire.
Is that true in Legends?
It's true in both. It's true in both continuities. Palpatine saw him as a very trusted advisor, both military, in a military sense and a political sense, even though Thrawn isn't really someone that really messes with politics like that. He stays far away from them as possible.
He's also one of the only aliens in the Galactic Empire, in a position of power.
Exactly.
That's a very important thing. In an entire government filled to the brim with human supremacists, he is one of the only few aliens to actually have a true position of power.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I definitely think he's going to be the Thanos of this universe going forward.
Sure.
I think,
a skewed morality, definitely a bad guy. I want him to be a bad guy. I don't want him to be a cartoon villain, like you're saying, the twirling of the mustache. But he definitely needs to be a bad guy for me.
Another thing, where by the end of the show, what are they going to do with all the Rebels characters? It's going to be so interesting to see where they go. With Hera and Sabine, and just see. I mean, in the Rise of Skywalker, when we saw the ghost, right? Mm-hmm. We're assuming Hera's in there, but Oh, it's not.
Let's assume that
100%.
her son is in there, but
her son. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be. I feel like we will find out in this season what they're gonna do with their characters, and it's
more than likely.
I don't know if they're gonna like get killed off. I don't know what's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen, man.
That's the best part about continuing this. It's so refreshing. Like
very much so.
When
you
make it to the end of Rebels, and you watch the last episode, you're just like, what happens next? And now, years later, we're finally
getting that's the weird part about the now comparing to the sequel trilogy. Because now everybody's like, okay, we've reached this point in the story. We still have like 30 years left of story to get through. Mm-hmm. What's happening to my favorite character? Fucking tell me, Dave Filoni. Tell me.
JFC. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I was just wondering who we thought the Snake Eyes Inquisitor was, because I was very interested in
that guy.
And let me tell you, his armor is... It's probably my favorite outfit in the entire show so far. Dead serious.
Yeah. He looks good.
Is it also...
You go ahead.
I was about to say, isn't it weird that so far our favorite Inquisitor is the guy that doesn't talk and looks like Snake Eyes?
That's hilarious.
It's the imagination that keeps it going, that keeps you intrigued. It's the Boba Fett thing. It's the Darth Vader thing.
Yeah, of course it is.
The masked guy.
The guy who doesn't talk, who's a complete and total badass, who can go on par with Ahsoka Tano, just so happens to be the best Inquisitor.
Like these definitely aren't just Inquisitors. You could tell. I mean, he's using the same lightsaber, but you could tell these guys are on a higher par than them.
He may have just picked it up.
I was like, it shocked the hell out of me that Disney actually like made a character that doesn't speak, because like I've heard people say before like it was good until they started talking or something like that, and I was like, dude, like I expected him just to be another incompetent Inquisitor, and he's badass, dude.
Yeah, he's actually really cool.
Even like how
he didn't do helicopter.
Yeah, how violent he throws the saber at Ahsoka. Like he throws it so hard, and it goes so far, and
everyone thought.
For my audience, you don't understand how happy we all were when he didn't do the helicopter maneuver with the lightsaber.
Such a relief.
Helicopter.
Such a relief. If I saw that, do you know what I would have done? If I saw that, I would have just paused the episode and just sat there. I'm like, they did it again.
It was like my dad at an Oklahoma Sooners football game, dude.
God. Helicopter!
No, can we talk? Oh, go rough.
Like, funniest, I swear, the funniest part about that whole situation is not only the fact that he did not do the helicopter maneuver, thank God.
Yes.
I have to say that. But it's also the fact, like we were saying, turns out that people really like the Inquisitors whenever they're actually competent and actually do their jobs.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
And they're not
because they don't get murked by dudes who've only been Jedi for like weeks. They just regain their powers.
I like to think things in terms of power scaling, and if you look at how Ahsoka defeated her first Inquisitor compared to how she couldn't even beat this person, and she's probably way stronger than she was back in Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah, she's way stronger.
Like 18. She's like in her 30s, 40s now.
Exactly, that's the point I'm trying to make. Like, this guy, he can hold his own. He escaped from her. He's a big deal.
She's close to Anakin levels in the Clone Wars. I would say.
Galen Merrick confirmed.
No, please, God. Sam Witwer, I love you, but don't touch this. No, please.
Joke's on you. Sam Witwer's already under the mask.
No!
I only wouldn't like it if it was Galen Merrick, because I know they're gonna nerf him severely. And even if they reveal him like next episode as Galen Merrick, I'm like, dude, he should have wiped the floor with Ahsoka.
If it was, I was just about to say, if it was Galen Merrick.
Oh no,
because that's Luke level of power.
Material. I'm thinking of Legends material. I don't want to think about that. That's just bad.
Yeah. Anyway, are we
no,
going to talk
like,
about?
my idea.
Are we going to talk about the end of episode 1?
Just before that, Hamster had a point.
About episode 1, I didn't like it when the cops tried to stop Sabine.
Oh yeah.
I never imagined punk rock in Star Wars. Well, it wasn't really punk rock, was it?
It was
weird
feeling.
rock.
All the cops were so rude in Star Wars.
It's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Leave Sabine alone!
Also, speaking of Sabine, how do we feel about the fact that apparently mortal wounds, like being stabbed in the gut with a lightsaber, can just be healed in like a couple of days?
I think we just discovered what we're going to talk about for the rest of the podcast.
That's my one
Or Qui-Gon.
Yeah, seriously.
Or Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon.
That was one of
just
the big
reasons.
people getting stabbed in Obi-Wan was one of my biggest kind of
Pet peeves.
nitpicks. Yeah,
Yeah.
pet peeves.
Where the
And
hell
that's
was my
the
back
one
to
and
tank?
only nitpick I have of this show so far. Is
Me
the fact
too.
that people can just get stabbed by lightsabers now and be fine.
Yeah.
And she gets
Like-
stabbed in the exact, not the exact same spot, but through the exact same organs that
Why are they doing that?
that Qui-Gon does, right through
Why
the
aren't
liver.
you slashing them?
Obi-Wan,
I don't
That's
know.
weird.
Obi-Wan,
I
where
would've-
was my back to tank? Where was my
I said
back?
this right after. I said this right after the episode. I was like, why don't they just cut off of her hand or cut off her part of her leg and then rebuild it as Beskar, and then she can like fight with her leg as Beskar. Like that would be so dope.
It's like
Isn't there a thing with that where like, well, haven't they like turned Mandalore into a glass floor by now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is
Because
This is happening around the same time.
on actual Beskar now. Because remember, guys, this is before Mando season 3. So remember that Moff Gideon, he doesn't have the actual Beskar armor. He has like Beskar alloy, I think it was called. So it's not the
can't
same
remember, yeah.
material. It's not as strong.
No.
So it would
Would
be.
you think that the New Republic would have access?
This is very strange to me because I thought that Ahsoka was taking place around the same time as Mando.
Technically,
No.
no.
Mando
'cause
season 3.
Remember what
I
I
don't
was
know my
saying
date.
yesterday about it should be taking place during the time where Mando is like going around with the Darksaber and he's complete. Look, the Book of Boba Fett episode with him in it. You know, it should
After
be taking,
that?
It should be taking place during or during that actually.
Well, it'd have to be after because Ahsoka's in that episode.
Yeah, Ahsoka's in that next episode after that. So
Okay, so during that time would be around 9 ABY before the Siege of Mandalore.
well, that's not right though because.
Or, I mean, not the Siege of Mandalore, the Battle for Mandalore.
His
I'll
Mando,
do some research.
Because Mando season 1 and 2 is like 5 ABY or 6 ABY, so it's like right after the Battle of Jakku has already happened.
See, that doesn't make sense because I looked it up on Wikipedia, and it says that, well, spoiler alert for Mando Season 3 if you haven't seen it yet, but Paz Vizsla, he dies in 9 ABY as they're trying to take over Mandalore and as they're fighting against, Moff Gideon.
It's supposed to be, according to Jon Favreau, and whatever Star Wars encyclopedia there is now. It's
Jon
supposed to be
Favreau.
well, no, it's supposed to be a time skip because we're supposed to base it off where Grogu left versus Din coming to pick him up later on. Which
Right.
is another
Like,
range we'll
I
get
think
into later.
the
What?
Ahsoka show
But, like-
is supposed to take place during season 3 of Mando.
But, what's the time frame of that?
Well, we know that.
We don't know.
Well, we know. We do know.
Of season
that-
3?
Because
No, not season 3. I meant like
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
in episode
Okay.
2 when Ahsoka and Sabine like head off to their journey, like the Rebels epilogue, right? That is after Mando season 1, I would say. But where we're going, because I did hear a rumor that there is going to be some sort of time skip in the show that's going to fast forward just a bit. So it could.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
But I think what we're seeing here is like what happens before she meets Luke. I really want to know, how did she get out of the world? How did she get off Malachor? You know?
Yeah, when she goes into the temple.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, that would be a good flashback.
Yeah.
Yeah, we deserve some flashbacks. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so just to put everything into reference, right? So Ahsoka. Okay, so Mando takes place. Season 1 of Mando takes place at about 6 or 7 ABY.
Around.
Then season two takes place at about 7 or 8 ABY. Mando lets Grogu leave with Luke. Then it turns into about 8.5 ABY when Book of Boba Fett comes around and Mando hangs out with Boba to take some names and kick some ass. And then 9 ABY is when Mando helps Bo-Katan to take over Mandalore. And season 1 of Ahsoka takes place somewhere between all of that.
Wait, okay, 9 ABY is Mando's timeline, so...
Yeah, so
that's 4
and
years
Ahsoka's thing
after
takes
Battle
place.
Through.
Yeah,
Which
and
makes more sense
Ahsoka's thing
because-
takes place.
Yeah, because the New Republic is more of a state now. Like, it's actually a thing now. Like, there's no more Rebel Alliance.
It's actually a world government.
Yeah, it's not the Alliance anymore.
Galactic government.
Yeah, galactic, right, yeah.
Yeah.
The galactic government.
Yeah, they're not like in a transition period. I mean, I'm sure they're still fixing some loose ends.
I'm not gonna lie, this entire timeline fucking confuses me.
I mean,
because I can't pinpoint where Ahsoka is supposed to be.
Well, I don't even think that John or Dave have a set idea of exactly how it's supposed to be. They're kind of leaving it open on purpose, I feel.
Yeah, I agree.
Knows.
You'll probably tie in later on. Like we'll have more of a clear view on it.
That would be a good kind of theory to try to pick out, try to figure out what time this takes place towards the end of the show.
We'd be here for another fucking hour talking about
Because
that.
does the 2-year time skip, does that make it 11 ABY? Or does that go from 7 to 9? Or is it 9 to 11?
We don't have any indications on where we're supposed to be right now because there's no like outside indication. Because if someone actually went through with telling us where we were supposed to be, the main thing that they would be talking about is like, oh hey, did you hear all those Mandalorians took over Mandalore?
I think I have something. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole, but how long during the ceremony did they mention how many years ago?
Several years is what he says.
Oh, motherfucker! You said that bullshit on me!
I was writing a review of the episode, and I was listening to him say that. I'm like, come on.
You son of a bitch. It's just like several years ago when a thing happened and another thing happened. It's like, just tell me what day it is!
That would have told us definitively if that's like the same scene from the Rebel series finale. It's like, that would have fixed so many things.
Oh well.
Well.
We'll figure it out.
I guess we'll leave it to Wikipedia.
Yeah, they'll figure it out.
How do we feel
about
it?
They'll somehow figure it out.
I might be wrong on this, but didn't a part of Rogue One, like in certain scenes, like tell us a timeline, like a little subtitle? Or,
well, it's like
no?
It's like no. It just showed what planets we were on, but we know it's like.
Oh, gotcha.
It's the week of A New Hope. We know that.
Well, that it would have been nice. Like, I mean, that's an example of something else that they did with like showing the planets. But you can do that, but with like show us that, but the timeline, like maybe in the beginning of the show, that could help. You know.
Look, Star Wars.
Like how they do in comic books.
The Lucasfilm story group isn't very good at like. They're not that good at finding their continuity. Yeah, their job. Thank you.
We're already on Disney's bad side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, listen. Listen, I don't care. Listen, I'm just speaking my mind. This is a podcast. This is what we came to do. I could, I just feel as though like they try to do too much. Like they try to add too much to stuff that was, the whole if it's not broke, don't fix it type thing. Like I really don't feel like there should, as much as I like Merrick, right? I really don't feel like there should be any Inquisitors though. I was kind of
I don't think. I hope he's not an Inquisitor.
Yeah,
but he looks exactly like one. So it's hard not to call him an Inquisitor.
Well, I mean, if it looks like an Inquisitor and it fights like an Inquisitor and it has a helicopter lightsaber like an Inquisitor, then it's probably a fucking Inquisitor.
No, it's definitely a clone trooper under there.
No, yeah, totally. A decrepit ass middle aged fucking clone trooper being like, I hate new people, and then
he's like the 7th member of the Bad Batch.
Oh my
god.
Hamster.
Yes.
I have something to say to the bad guy who hurt Sabine. Hey, bad guy, F-U-N. I'm not having fun because you hurt Sabine.
Oh, Shin?
Yeah.
She can get away
Shin
with it.
Hottie.
Hottie, yeah.
Shin Hottie.
Oh, here we go.
Roth, what's up?
I didn't make the joke. I'm just contributing to it. It should be in.
Say again?
Anyway, I was gonna. Damn, the thought was in my head.
Let your brain work, my friend.
Unleash your inner feelings, boy. Let the hate go through.
Well, while Ruff is gathering his thoughts, do we get an overall okay vibe from the show? Like, do we feel safe so far? With
I feel safe. Well, I feel safer. Safer.
I'm not satisfied with the show yet, but I have a feeling I might.
Well, I mean, it's the first 2 episodes. They're week only, like.
Right.
Yeah.
I
feel okay so far.
Yeah.
Like I feel good.
Yeah, I don't feel like fully safe about it, but like that's what I'm saying. Like I feel safer about it because, consistency is key.
Some of the best shows start off slow, and to be fair, this one actually is starting off a lot faster than most of them. So this is awesome.
Okay, so
we only get like 8 episodes.
Rating the first 2 episodes out of 10. What would you give?
A combination?
I would say separately. So
order.
episode 1 out of
let's go on.
episode 1 out of 10. What would you give it?
Let's go in order. Like
Me personally, a 7.5. I think the pacing dragged on a bit. I do like that it was a slower paced Star Wars type of story though. I for one actually kind of enjoyed the whole Night Sister Tomb Raider type thing Ahsoka was doing, the Jedi Survivor puzzle she was solving. I really liked that, and I liked how it kind of gave Tomb Raider and Indiana Jones vibes. I know a lot of people.
Yeah.
I know. I saw a lot of people like not liking that. That was pretty fun. It really felt, like I said, it really felt like Star Wars, like when George and Dave were running it, and it doesn't feel like a product of Disney really, other than the fact that it's 3 female leads, but even then that doesn't like have any sort of that hasn't had any sort of effect on like us watching it, because I'm
not getting Reva.
You're not getting Reva right now, you're not getting Raid or Rose Tico'd right now. Like you feel
exactly.
You can
Rose Tico'd.
Like
their verbs now.
Oh god.
You're not.
I feel bad for the actress for Rose Tico.
Shout out to Kelly Marie. We love you. Ryan Jones.
Anyway,
character sucks.
Yes.
Out of 10 for Corvus.
Yeah, Corvus, go ahead.
So, I feel like I have I have a different opinion than I did last night. Last night, it was a 7 for the first, 7.5 for the second, and I think, and I'm kind of basing this off of like, you know, what like where the show could go at the end of the day, you know. Right now, I guess honestly, the first one for me is like a 7.5, and the second one is a 9. Yeah. The first one was slow, but I understood that they were building world building, character building, and it wasn't I don't think it was really filler. I think the only thing that was really filler to me was like Sabine just looking around Ezra's tower for like ever, kinda. But yeah, like I don't know. I think I've been like I've been like really stoked about Balin since he was revealed, and he was like everything I wanted him to be,
and more.
Rest in peace.
Competent Disney Star Wars villains, like who would have thought?
Who would have thought they would be so popular and so good? As for me, I would say Episode 1 gets an 8, and Episode 2 probably gets a... I don't want to be a shill, but I'd also say an 8. Like, they're both good equally, and they are both meant to be, like... I feel like this was meant to be, like, one episode.
Oh, okay.
Like, but the two of them are supposed to be, like, combined to be, like, a singular episode, so...
I mean, that's why they released them at the same time, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're both really good. I give them both an 8. Maybe an 8.5 for Episode 1, just on the basis that Balin is such a badass motherfucker.
Oh, he's
in the first episode.
That's one of my favorite moments.
He holds himself with such authority over everybody else. He's just like the guard at the beginning is like, oh, well, I don't see you as a Jedi, and Balin's like, excuse me, bitch, the fuck did you just say to me?
Make sure to buy our Dark Jedi Beefcake t-shirts on the Echo Praxian website. Dude,
are we making Dark Jedi Beefcake t-shirts? I will gladly wear one everywhere.
Gosh,
yes.
No, this is a thing now. I want my Dark Jedi Beefcake t-shirts.
Dark Jedi Beefcake.
We also sell them as hoodies and fucking what are they called? Spaghetti shirts, or are they called wife beaters? I can't remember.
We know one thing: you put orange corduroys on a Twi'lek, and everybody goes wild.
Yeah, I'd love that. That'd be a lot of fun.
Well, we have 5 more minutes, guys.
Can I say
my
rating?
Get on with our out of 10s?
Yeah, go ahead, man. And then I'll go next.
Okay. Episode 1, I'll give it a solid 7.5, like Angel. You know, the pacing felt a little slow, but that's okay. I mean, it's a lot to set up, so I understand that. It's fair. Mm-hmm. But episode 2 really picked up the pace. I loved it more, so I'll give that one an 8.5. 8.5.
Nice. As for me, I would say episode 1 is a 7. I think it would be an 8 if Sabine didn't get stabbed and you know she's gonna live.
The miracle of
and then I would
technology.
give episode. right. I would give episode 2 probably 8.5. Solid. I loved it. Everything. Yeah. I love like the waypoint where the star map led. You can see the space whales in the sky. Balin's acting is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's solid.
Raph, are you here to give a rating?
Sabine is also like probably my favorite actor so far as well.
Well, I love her. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, she's doing a great job.
Yeah.
Okay, so as far as how episode 1 turned out to be, for now, it's a good. It's probably one of the greatest. No, not the greatest, but like one of the best intro episodes that they have released so far, going series-wise. Like Mendo and a bunch of the other episodes. Like I said earlier, they started out slow. We got introduction to new characters and then got introduced to some new characters, to some old characters, sorry. And the only thing that kind of stuck to me was that they put not too much, but it was to the point where they added a little bit more to the story than they were gonna let on, or at least in my opinion, and they added the whole history between Sabine and Ahsoka, and like that was never mentioned either before. It could have been mentioned from the books. I don't read the books, but other than that, but so anyway, this episode I'll give it let's give it a 7.5 out of 10. Again, it's slow pacing, and this is start. I liked it.
Yeah, it's a start.
So,
who's
Hamster?
next? Hamster?
I like to give the show 100 golden star, and if Ahsoka and Sabine were my sisters, they will defend me from the bullies.
That's true.
Nice.
JFC, did you want to give a rating?
Sure. Y'all are probably going to disagree heavily with me, but I think the first one was a solid 4. I think the second one is a 5. But
Fair.
I am interested in the villains. I am interested in Snake Eyes, Ray Stevenson, and the Padawan Sith lady.
Shin.
That's
It's just I mean, it's only the first 2 episodes, so I am so hopeful. It's just very slow and boring to me, and I didn't watch Rebels, so I'm not really
As invested?
so I don't really know much like Ezra and all that. So yeah,
Gotcha.
but I am so
This is
hopeful.
where the paths diverge.
I'm just grateful. Like, we're 2 episodes in. We already have like 2 lightsaber battles. Like, that's so much fun. Like that we're seeing so much of
That's
that.
what I'm saying. It's going faster than a lot of other shows.
That's a point I want to make. That's the point I want to make after the rating, because that's something that deserves to be talked about.
I think I'm last to give my
you are.
rating, right? So, I'll give the first episode a 6 out of 10, and on my scale, 5 is average, so it's better than average. The only reason I'm giving it that low is because I thought that all of the main characters so far, being Sabine, Hera, and Ahsoka, they all kind of act the same. They're all very stoic, and there's not really a lot of variation how you saw in Rebels.
Their personalities
That's something I
aren't
picked up
shining
on.
through yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, of course, the ending of episode 1 makes it a 6 for me. And then the episode after episode 2, I would give a 6.5.
Nice.
Nice.
No, it's fair, because, like I said, I have various problems with both. I feel optimistic enough to say we're going into the right direction. For the
It
future.
feels that way, yeah.
That's fair. And to be fair, we might be going off of hype and kind of nostalgia and letting a lot of these other factors influence our ratings. So yeah, it's good to be fair with these things.
I mean, we've only been through a fourth of the show, so we'll properly rate it when all 8 episodes come out. But
Exactly.
just for now, this is
feeling
our
good.
views.
Yeah,
It's feeling
so
good. I'm enjoying myself. I enjoyed the
for
episode.
the most part, it's good vibes all around. We feel like we're back in Star Wars again, although obviously our opinions vary. But we overall are interested in the story now. Like I haven't felt interested in the Star Wars story for like 2 years now, since Mando season 2.
Yeah.
And I feel as though like we're finally getting to a stage where I want to trust Dave Filoni enough to tell his story, because he's kind of like the last sliver of like the old Lucasfilm that we had, and he's like the last like I said, the last bastion of defense for Star Wars as a story and a brand.
Yeah, until George clones himself, of course.
Until George clones himself. Actually, no. I think Josh from Nerd Vengers is actually like a George clone. Like he looks exactly like Young George Lucas.
Yeah, that is funny.
But yeah, yeah, go ref.
I just forgot to mention that they made that hallway scene without having to have another Skywalker do that.
Yeah,
because we got Darth Vader, we have Luke Skywalker,
and we had
another character did the hallway scene for that.
Well, we had Maul in season 7 of Clone Wars. There's that.
That is like, it's up for debate. Which one's more brutal? A hallway scene between Vader and Maul. In my opinion, I think it's Maul because certain parts of it.
Yeah, he cut a guy's hand off.
Yeah.
And a head off.
I think he crushed a guy in half, didn't he? Like through the door?
No, he ripped 2 panels off of the walls and then crushed a guy, I think is what happened.
Crazy,
and then he used one of those panels and chucked it at a guy, and you see the helmet of the clone trooper fall.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. Crazy.
Use a door to cut off a clone's hand.
Yeah, because he needed the pass code or whatever. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that has been a successful podcast, I'd say. I mean, geez,
yes, indeed.
Everybody had
that was amazing, guys.
Everybody had amazing points and amazing narratives, and I feel as though we came together pretty well. I think we're on the right track. I feel happy to be a Star Wars fan again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys are here.
We have something that feels like Star Wars.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah. Before we go, shout out to Scrub, who couldn't be here because she wasn't feeling too good. And shout out.
Hi, Scrub.
Watch the show and then come back here.
Yeah. Watch the 3rd episode before we do another podcast because we want to do this with you in the actual show and not, feeling bad because you didn't watch the 3rd episode.
Yeah.
She's the small bean in this group. She's a small bean.
Shout out to Spinelli, too. We love you.
Oh, yeah, shout out to Spinelli, our special guest. Shout out to George Lucas.
Shout out to George Lucas.
Shout out George Lucas.
Shout
out Nick Willard.
Shout out Filoni. Shout out to Ahsoka. Shout out everyone.
Shout out to my mom.
Shout out to
your mom?
Too. Yeah.
Shout out to my mom. Those VHSs of Star Wars.
Why not?
Shout out to my mom.
Oh yeah, the ones with the reversible.
One at a time, people.
Do you mean the VHSs with like the reversible box where they had different characters on them?
I had that one. Yep.
Shout out to the Star Wars prequel trilogy DVD box sets that came with all the hours of special features that everybody loves.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say it. Shout out to the sequels. Don't hate me. I'm kidding.
Boo! No.
I'm kidding.
Boo, Mace, boo!
Shout out to the prequels and the originals for giving birth to the sequels. Ha!
Indeed. Wait a minute. No! That's against the narrative! No, just kidding.
You tricked me.
I want to say...
See what I did there?
I want to say shout out to Ashley Eckstein, who does the voice of Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah, shout out to her as well.
We love you, Ashley. We'll see you guys next week for Ahsoka Episode 3.
So hyped.
I am hyped for this. I really want to see where we go from here because...
Well, one more thing.
What's that?
One more shout out to the viewers that are watching. We appreciate you guys listening to us.
Thank you guys.
I'm pretty sure the only viewers that we have are just people in this channel watching this like 5 times.
No, it's been shared around. We haven't.
Oh yeah, shout out to the most important boy in the world, the one who made all this possible, Hayden Christensen.
True.
Woo! Let's go.
I really appreciate you, Master.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
But that's going to do it for PRAXCAST today. We hope you had a wonderful time with us. We know we had a good time. We'll see you next week for episode 3 of Ahsoka, and for the rest of the episodes to come. And we hope there's still a franchise left to love. by the end of this.
Yeah.
We love
Some
you
of our
guys.
podcast my shows
If not, leave it up to us.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe to us. Turn on notifications when we post. We're going to be posting shorts, skits, all types of stuff we're working on for you guys. Join our Discord down below in the bio as well. That's where we're recording from. We got an amazing community here, amazing people, creatives, content creators everywhere. Everybody here is a Star Wars fan through and through. And we're just here to, spread more positivity in the fandom, because we know that it is it could be a tough place sometimes, but we're always welcoming with open arms. So, yeah, we love you guys, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Absolutely. Hey guys.
Bye. Subscribe to our OnlyFans.
No.
Hashtag
Welcome everyone.
Dark Jedi
Welcome everyone.
Beefcake.